Hello, world and universe. Welcome to the Trevor Donald Experience. Manifest your truth. And if you're new to the channel, please hit that like and subscribe button. And for all my continued followers, I want to say thank you. And this is an opinion-based video channel where I talk about some of the travails and tribulations that we go through in life throughout our cities, our states, our country, and sometimes around the world. And this particular video is one that's coming straight out of New York City that happened a few days ago. As we all know, New York City has bail reform and they become a sanctuary city, and there's been a ton of crises taking place under Mayor Adams' tutelage as the mayor. And this one is about a New York City cop that got killed recently. Here we go. New York City cop killer's long rap sheet with 21 previous arrests includes most recent gun charge in April of last year before he was let back on the streets. The man accused of killing Nypd officer Jonathan Diller was arrested 21 times, including as recently as last April, according to police sources. Guy Rivera, 34, has a long history of drugs and violence charges, records show. His most recent arrest for a gun-related charge took place in April last year before he was turned loose on the streets again after making bail, police confirmed. Mayor Eric Adams expressed incredulity that Rivera had been allowed back on the streets given his recent gun charge. April 2023, less than a year ago, gun charge, and he's back on the street April 2023, Mayor Adams told a press conference. This is what you call not a crime problem, but a recidivism problem. Same bad people doing bad things to good people. Less than a year, he's back on the streets with another guy. The charge is the latest to be added to Rivera's rap sheet, which also features an arrest for attempted aggravated assault. Rivera was sent to Southport Correctional Facility for the offense in 2011 before being released. 5 years later, he was back in jail at the Supermax Upstate Correctional Facility for selling drugs and another assault case. Diller and a colleague were working in Far Rockaway as part of the NYPD critical response team focusing on car crime. When they asked the 34-year-old suspect to step out of his car, he refused, pointed a gun at the officers, and fired, hitting Diller in the torso just below his bullet-resistant vest. Rivera was asked to leave the car. He was given a lawful order numerous times to step out of the car, but he refused, NYPD Chief of Detectives Joseph Kinney said. And when the officer took him out of the car, instead of stepping out of the car, he shot our officer. It happened so fast, Melissa Morgan, 39, told the Daily News. The police officer fell on the floor, and the other officers dragged the two guys out of the car. I was running for cover, she said. He shot a cop. It's unbelievable. He was rolling around on the ground saying, I'm shot, another witness said. Witness Dion Peters said he saw two people, including the officer, on the ground. He was moving. He was saying, I'm hit, giving location and all that, Peters told the New York Post, like he was crying. Officer Diller managed to grab the gun from his killer after the officer returned fire and hit the gunman in the back. The officer was just 3 years into the job when he was fatally shot. Heartbreaking photos show his colleagues and other emergency workers saluting and lining the street outside Jamaica Hospital in Queens when Diller's body was transferred to a waiting ambulance. Diller leaves behind his wife of 6 years, Stephanie, and their 1-year-old son. A GoFundMe set up for his family has already amassed more than $150,000 since it was set up just hours ago. His brother-in-law, Johnny Mack, vowed to take care of Diller's son in his absence. What started out as an everyday car stop instantly became a moment where so many lives could be turned upside down. John leaves behind a wife and a 1-year-old son who will now grow up without a father. To those of you out there in the streets, it can be so easy to become wrapped up into the moment, to think horrible events like this cannot happen to you, to become focused on making that next arrest or racing to the action. Remember, those who love you are at those moments with you. There are no words to describe how devastated we are that you are gone. You were a good man and a great father whose shoes can never be filled. I swear to you that I will look after your son as if he were my own for the rest of my life. President of the Police Benevolent Association asked for prayers for the family and questioned why the shooter felt emboldened to attack. Our hero police officer confronted this dangerous individual knowing that he was putting himself at risk, knowing that he had a family waiting for him at home. But he did it to protect the people of this city, and we need every single New Yorker to be with this family. Why did this violent individual with the gun have no fear to shoot a New York City police officer? Why? Why did he feel that he could shoot a New York police officer, period? These attacks on New York City police officers have to end right now. And it said last year, a record-breaking amount of New York City cops have been attacked on the job, with more than 5,000 recorded in 2023. Man, this is such a sad commentary, but what is taking place in New York, the two cities that are being completely destroyed and decimated, and I don't know if it's fortunately or unfortunately, both of them have black mayors. You have Mayor Eric Adams in New York, and then you have Mayor Brandon Johnson in Chicago. Both cities are in the top 3 or 4 cities as far as population and diversity, and they decided to make it a sanctuary city. And both cities, New York has bail reform, and the state of Illinois has the Safety Act, where people who commit minor crimes, what is the difference between major and minor, and they are letting these individuals out repeatedly. In Chicago, just here a week or so ago, a gentleman who had a long laundry list of arrests and crimes had gotten out, and there was a protective order against him with him and his ex-girlfriend. This guy gets out of Illinois prison, state prison, and he starts harassing his ex-girlfriend, and he goes to her house, and he assaults, stabs her, and then he stabbed her son to death. And now 3 Illinois State Parole Board members resigned, and this gentleman had gotten out and shouldn't have been out and had a long criminal history, and he went and committed a murder. He tried to attack his ex-girlfriend who was pregnant by somebody else. He stabbed her, but he ended up killing her son. Now you have this gentleman who has a laundry list of drug convictions, did 5 years, first-degree assaults, attempted murder. Doesn't seem like this guy should have been let out. And then he gets out, and he was arrested as recent as last April. And he gets out and he shoots and kills a New York City police officer who was 34, just in the very beginning of his career and his life, with a wife and a 1-year-old child. We have to do something about this. Bail reform in New York City is too lax. The Safety Act in Illinois and in Chicago is too lax. These liberal laws are decimating and denigrating our cities, allowing criminals to not worry about being arrested, not worried about being convicted and going to jail for a long time, and they are reverberating this sense of callousness and negativity and inhumanity to everyone. Nowadays, criminals are not afraid of the police, let alone anybody else. And we need to strengthen and tighten these conviction laws, and these individuals need to be in jail a lot longer than just a short period of time. Tell me what you think.